Have you ever felt something coming before you even knew why? Picture walking down an empty street, the cold wind hitting your face, and suddenly, a piece of paper flies right at you, like it chose you. That's exactly what happened to Livia. An ordinary 32-year-old woman, brown hair tied in a messy ponytail, eyes tired from carrying the weight of long days. She's a history teacher, lives alone in a small apartment, and always thought life was just routine. Until that paper, a yellowed page from an old book, crossed her path and changed everything. Livia picked up the page without thinking, as if instinct guided her. The words, half faded, spoke of a moment that changes everything, and she felt a chill, like someone whispered her name in the dark. It wasn't just the wind or the cold night. It was a premonition, something tugging at memories she didn't even know she had. She tucked the paper in her pocket, heart racing, trying to ignore the feeling that something bigger was watching her. For a moment, everything went silent. But what was written there felt alive, waiting. Livia's life was like anyone's: bills, cold coffee, papers to grade. But that page, with its crooked letters and musty smell, brought an unease she couldn't explain. It was as if the paper knew something about her, something buried in her memories, begging to be unearthed. The psychological tension grew as she stared down the empty street, feeling unseen eyes. What did that paper want from her? Something inside her said the mystery was just beginning. You're in Tales of the Watcher, where fates are glimpsed, not told, and every step you take is seen by eyes you'll never meet. The air hums with secrets, daring you to listen. Stick around, subscribe for the journey, and in today's story, Livia got back to her cramped apartment in a small town, where the smell of stale coffee mixed with the mustiness of stacked books. The paper she found was still in her pocket, and under the dim light of a lamp, she noticed a handwritten date: October 15th, 2023. It was the day she lost her mother's necklace, a detail that made her swallow hard. Lately, things had been out of place. A pen on the floor, a book open she swore she'd closed. The unsettling atmosphere grew, as if the apartment knew something Livia didn't. That night, Livia dreamed of a half-open door, a low creak echoing in the dark. She woke up sweating, heart pounding, with the feeling that the paper's premonition was alive, whispering subtle clues in her mind. She found a note on the table, in her own handwriting, but she didn't remember writing it. Don't ignore the signs. The psychological tension consumed her. It was curiosity mixed with fear, like every step pulled her deeper into something unknown. Was she imagining things, or was someone really watching her? Livia tried to convince herself it was just exhaustion, but the apartment's silence felt heavy, almost alive. The clock on the wall ticked too loudly, and shadows danced in the corners, as if waiting for the right moment. She tucked the paper in a drawer, but the feeling of being watched wouldn't leave. The premonition kept haunting her, vague but relentless, like a warning she hadn't yet decoded. What was hidden in that apartment? And why did it feel so personal? Livia couldn't take the weight of that uncertainty anymore. She started digging, rummaging through a box of old papers in the closet, where she found a photo of her mom holding the lost necklace with October 15th, 2023 written on the back. She talked to Donna Clara, the elderly neighbor who, with a strange look, said she saw Livia leaving the house that day. But Livia knew she was away traveling. The psychological tension choked her, like the past was cornering her. Every subtle clue seemed to scream that the book's page was no accident. Then came the twist. Rereading the yellowed page, Livia noticed the date wasn't October 15, but November 15, the day after tomorrow. The clock on the wall, which she thought was broken, showed the exact time, as if mocking her. The psychological claustrophobia took over. Livia felt the apartment shrink, the walls closing in. Sometimes what you fear is already beside you, waiting for you to notice. And Livia, heart pounding, sensed she was about to uncover something irreversible. She rushed to the drawer, grabbed the paper, and saw a new phrase she swore wasn't there before. You already lost before you started. How was that possible? Doubt consumed her, and a low creak from the bedroom door made her blood run cold. Time seemed to be running out, and the apartment's silence weighed like a warning. Livia, paper in hand, was one step from something crucial. But what? Something in the air said the truth was closer than she thought. It was midnight when Livia, paper in hand, heard a loud snap from the window. The wind seemed to howl louder, and as she approached, she saw her mother's necklace on the sill, as if placed there by someone. In a panic, she ran to the door. But the building's hallway was dark, with an echo of footsteps that weren't hers. The premonition from the paper, November 15th, rang in her mind. It was today, and something was coming. The sequence of actions swallowed her, every shadow alive, every noise a warning. Suddenly, glass shattered in the living room, and Livia froze, her heart racing. She ran to the spot, finding the page torn on the floor, with a new phrase. You can't escape what already happened. The premonition from the start, that chill on the street, now made sense. The paper warned of a loop, something she'd lived through without knowing. The psychological tension exploded. Livia felt the floor shake as if the apartment were collapsing. Then, everything went silent, and she woke up among glass shards, not remembering how she got there. Livia looked around, heart still pounding, the necklace in her hand like an anchor. The torn page lay beside her, but something was different. A name, Anna, written in the corner, someone she'd never mentioned. The resolution was partial, as if Livia's fate were just one piece of a larger puzzle. What did that name mean? The night's silence hid more answers, and something said the story was far from over. Livia sat among the glass shards, clutching her mother's necklace to her chest, feeling a mix of guilt and relief. The paper's premonition saved her from repeating an old mistake, ignoring a warning about Anna, her estranged sister, who reached out in the past, but Livia, caught in routine, let it slip. The date, November 15th, marked an accident Anna suffered, something Livia could have prevented if she'd read between the lines. Now, with the necklace back, she felt the weight of a second chance. But what else was that paper hiding? Among the torn pieces, Livia found a strange symbol, almost a code, that seemed to pulse with life. It was as if the paper, now a living object, could be carried to someone else, bearing new warnings. What would you do if you could rewrite the past? The psychological tension still lingered around Livia, but there was also an emptiness, unanswered. Questions about Anna and what came next. Something in the air whispered that other puzzle pieces were still out there, waiting. And you, have you ever felt unseen eyes watching, like the world's hiding signs just for you? Drop your theory in the comments. What was that symbol? And who is Anna in Livia's life? The yellowed page, now loose in the wind again, might find another owner, another story. Livia's impactful resolution was just the start, an invitation to a new chapter. Who'll be the next to hear the paper's call?